Hello explorers and welcome to another gameplay video. Today I'm gonna play Firewatch and I don't know much about this game. I heard that it should be story rich and yeah, some good designs in it, but I'm pretty much going in blind, so this is gonna be very interesting for me. And I like this intention to detail here, where you have this GUI that actually moves around a bit, and if you go to settings you go to a different screen, but it's just a panning of the camera. I like that detail. So I guess we are going to be in this Firewatch tower and look for fire. So let's get into the game. And well, let's create a new game. No save games for me. Haven't played. Haven't even tried the sound settings, so I might be tweaking those a bit if it's too loud. But hopefully they've fixed that. Okay, Panic Incorporated. Game studios that I haven't played any games from, so Boulder, Colorado, 1975. Okay. You see Julia? Nope, I don't. Do you? Ah, interactables. She's about your age, late 20s, laughing with a well-dressed professors and grade students from nearby CU Boulder. You, Henry, are out drinking with your pals. You approach her. Well, it seems that I can't do anything else, and she seems nice enough, I guess. You're drunk. Ooh. Why am I drunk? Well, starting off strong, I guess. You're pretty. So, what's your, major? That's my thought about how you speak when you're drunk. You get all sluggish. Or is it that you are tipsy? Funny drunk. You pretty. Or, so, what's your major? I don't know. Well, going strong with actually either we give a compliment or we actually get to know her. And I think that even if you're drunk, you might be on the side of, well, actually caring. You slur the words major and it smells like coarse. You give an awkward smile. Evolutionary biology, she says, and I'm a professor. Cool, you reply. What's yours, she asks. She sniffs in the air. Toxology? She's funny. What was that, a burn, you ask? She says, definitely. Where did she hurt your feelings? She asked if you want to split a cheeseburger. 1 week later, you're Julia's boyfriend. Well, that went fast, but well, if you're a reasonably nice lad and if you handle things correctly and if she is interested, well, I guess that's possible, at least. But this conversation that we had is definitely not a part of that pickup, I guess. So, yeah. Interesting. Okay, so we are in the elevator. We have legs and we have wobbly feet, dancing feet. Way, dancy. Simple movement. Yeah, we can strafe. Oh, this. So real. Pick up backpack. Well, that could be good to have. In an office building, I guess. Can we go to a different floor? Nope. We're going on a hike. Just picking up supplies. 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 Very welcome. So we have a truck here. Well, I guess we don't need that, so let's take a hike. We have our backpack on our back, so let's go for it. Let's see. Oh. Really? Well, if you put a bright orange-red pickup truck at the site of your character, then hey dude, over here. So I shouldn't be that surprised, but a bit, yeah. I wish that it wasn't that linearly, but okay, let's do it. You have a date for over a year. She drives you absolutely nuts. It's great. Well, I guess nuts in a good way. That you are crazy together. You move in. You share an apartment near the school with a view of the mountains. You two drink beers out on the deck. You drink a beer just about anywhere. Life is good. Oh yeah, it's good. Julia wants to get a dog. Okay. Well, dogs is good, nice enough. If you get the wrong breed, then you have to go out on very long walks. I had a flat-coated retriever and he loved to get out in the woods. So, well, I spent most of my days out walking and playing with him, so yeah, could be nice. There's a scruff, undersized beagle. Julia is in love. She wants to bring it with her to class. There's also an intimidating but gentle-eyed German Shepherd. Nothing bad could happen to Julia while walking this dog. It's badass. Okay, she likes the beagle and you adopt the shepherd and name him Mayhem. You pick up the beagle and she names him Bucket. Not in love with any of those names. Beagle, Bucket, or Shepherd Mayhem. Let's go for Bucket. It's at least somewhat funny. Bucket is a good dog, and weeks later you're totally forgotten about the other one. Julia loves him. You love him too. Yeah. 1979. You talk out on the deck. It's summer. It's 9:30 p.m. and the heat still radiates off the high desert. Nice, really nice. What do you think about kids? She asks. They're awesome. I guess that's not what we are going to answer. Kids? They're not very smart or good at much. I'm saying if you and I have a couple little idiots. That could be pretty good. One day, why rush? That could be pretty good. In that case, we should probably get married. Yeah, I would like that, you say. These kids are going to be screwed up enough. It's probably for the best that their parents are hitched. Yeah, it is. You say she's absolutely right. Yeah, she is. I actually got married before I got before we had our kids. So, yeah, but I think it's nothing that prevents you from getting married after you get kids, or just find the company of each other that find that you don't need any marriage to make your relationships solid, because it's not that much the marriage, it helps. Everything gets much easier when you are married and getting kids, at least in Sweden. But I don't see that it's something that is required of you. 1980, it's Thursday night and Julia is 4 hours late. She doesn't call. You're worried and getting angrier by the minute. She walks in after you have gone to bed. Well, angry is not the thing that I would go to. I would get worried, very worried, if my wife was 4 hours late. She has been 2 hours late and nothing but 4 hours. Well, depending on the time of the day, but it could have happened something. So I would be really worried. Angry? I think that's a bit much. She walks in after you have gone to bed. She's not quite drunk, but she's clearly been having a fun time. You fight when she gets between the sheets. Like pillow fight? Or what? You get mad, you ignore her. You should never ignore someone. But then again, you shouldn't get mad either. I think you should talk it out. But I guess if we are already angry, then I think it's better to let the feelings out so you can handle them. Because if you bunch things inside, they will explode at some point, and that will not be pretty. You call her an inconsiderate asshole. Oh, well done, mate. Not the choice of words I would go for. She tells you to fuck yourself and not to be such a baby. You call her selfish. Well, a good, strong reply there. She knows you mean it and it hurts her feelings. Why are we doing this? Can we get some context, please? Seriously? 1981. Julia still likes to draw. She draws plants from her research. She draws all the places you go. She draws you. Nice. You pose and flex like a He-Man. You frolic like a Victoria's Secrets model. Well, I would probably go for the He-Man because, well, I think that's funnier. Frolic like Victoria's Secrets model, there's so much that could go wrong with that if you get the wrong context in it. If you can do it, if you can pull it off, I think that would be hilarious or a very nice thing to draw, but I could not pull that off. I'm not that good at making female moves, so my body, it doesn't shape that way, so I would probably do some flexing. Well, that's kind of funny. So let's pose and flex like a He-Man. You look awesome! Yeah! I'm awesome. Woo! Yeah. Oh! It's sunset. Or sunrise? Yeah. Late or early in the morning, I guess. So where are we off to? We're just taking a stroll in the woods? Yeah. So far, nothing is burning. I got this. I got this. Yep. Doing some fire watching. Two Forks, fire lookout. The Two Forks lookout tower. 8 miles still. We got a long way to go. Whew. Space bar to climb over obstructions. Dude! That log was like this, and you had to do an. Are you 2 feet tall or something? During the summers, you and Julia enjoyed walking bucket at night. Yeah. It's nice to go for a stroll. And I really love walking when after it has rained. So you have this fresh breeze in the air. It's a very nice feeling. There's a festival in town. It brings in folks from far away places. One of them tries to mug you with a knife. Hey you there! Give me your money! Money, money, money! Bucket gets kicked. Damn, dude. You don't kick a dog. That's out of the picture. Fuck, dog! Julia yells. She gets flustered and has trouble speaking when she's stressed. You confront the attacker. You scare him away, you beat his goddamn face in. Violence is seldomly the answer. But somebody kicks a dog. I might kick it back, actually. I think the right thing to do is to scare him away. You reach into your pocket like you got a gun and threaten to kill him. You manage to scare all 3 of you, and she runs away. Julia asks to take a different path from that day forward. You say okay, you don't want to go that way either. From then on you walk by the river. Well, the river walk is nice, I guess. 1984. Plans to have kids get waylaid by work. Okay, so work gets in the way of your private life. Well, I know the sentiment. I really love my job. I really do. And I'm one of those that are fortunate enough to work with my hobby. So I actually don't do any work. I just play with my hobby all day and get paid for it. So that's awesome. But that part of your lifestyle get away of something that you want to do. This character, I don't know. He might not be ready for kids, but I don't know. You shouldn't put work in front of your desires. Julia gets offered a job at Yale. Yale is in Connecticut, 2,000 miles away. It's a great job, associate department chair. She wants to move. You absolutely do not. Convince her not to take the job. Agrees if she commutes back and forth. Those are asshole choices, both of them. but I think this is the better one. If you get a job opportunity either side and you really want to do it, and then you shouldn't be in the way, and you shouldn't put any pressure on the other person, because it's not their fault that they take an opportunity. So I would go for take the job, we commute back and forth, and I commute sometimes, you commute sometimes, and we can work it out. There's Skype, so we can always talk. And yeah, if my roots where I live now isn't that strong, then deroot yourself and move with. If the job is something that is permanent, or at least think about it. But if it's a great job with great opportunity where you get a lot of experience and it's for 6 months perhaps, then just commute. Solve the problem. So yeah, let's do some commuting. You ask her if she'll commute back and forth. You don't want to move to Connecticut. She says that it'll be hard, but she'll do it for you if you won't move. You tell her not to pass it up if it's what she wants. She agrees. She flees back to Boulder 3 times each semester. Flies back to Boulder 3 times each semester. Well, that's reasonable. If it's 1,000 miles, that's pretty far. I went for a job opportunity with about 2.5 hours drive away, and I went back every weekend, and I thought that was hard. I know that some people actually have 2.5 hours drive commuting every day to their work, and I think that's pretty much too much. I think my commute is about an hour, and that's not while I'm driving. It's just bus and train and so on. But, yeah. I think that was a good choice. Julius sent home from jail. This is 1985, on a period leave after having an episode. She lost it on a colleague for borrowing books that were important to her research. She didn't remember she'd had happily loaned them to him just 2 days prior. Oh, she's stressed. Oh. Not good. How can we help? She was found crying in the stairwell. You say that maybe you guys should talk to someone about it. You make macaroni and drink wine and try to forget about it. Well, you should be supported and talk about it, but then again, she forgot about the books. Have she... Is it that she has... I don't know the word for it. If she has actually suppressed that memory in order to cope with it, then it's very bad to open up that box if you don't do it carefully. But making macaroni and drink wine and try to forget about it is seldomly a good choice. If I take from my experience, my wife had a really bad experience when we just met, and I got the suggestion that I should give her some alcohol and just be with her so she could forget about the bad memories. But my choice was actually to make some tea, sit down in the sofa for hours and just listen to her talk out everything that she felt. I think that's a much better way to actually cope with things, to let them go by actually opening up. And opening up to somebody that you trust is often the best way to cope with things. And I think that we have a good rapport with her, so we should be able to talk it out. So let's try that. After seeing multiple doctors and having many tests, they are worried that Julia might be suffering from early onset dementia. She's 41. Ooh. You both decide to keep it a secret for now. Oh, Jesus. That's actually one of the diseases that I'm most worried about. If I get some bone sickness or cancer or anything, that would be bad, and I would be scared and I would feel terrible. But because of me using my mind every day in my work and enjoying to struggle with a lot of concepts and keeping a lot of things in my mind at the same time, actually knowing that my mind is slowly deteriorating and actually I'm losing a lot of memories and so on, that's so scary. And dementia is just that it's happening faster. So I would be totally terrified. That's one of the worst things I think could happen to me. And I have said that if I one day lose my mind, literally, I'm not sure that I want to go on. So, oof, that's not a good sickness. Oh, so we are at camp, or at least we have done camp. Let's look at the journal. Oh yeah, there we have us, the He-Man. Oh, we just got a glimpse of him? That was majestic. Well, I'm not nude, so I'm not making that much of an impression, but the drawing was spot on, I think. Bucket is getting older. Julia comments that it's kind of a nice because she gets in less trouble around the house. A week later she goes back to the university. Because she gets in less trouble around the house. Okay. Julia's affliction gets worse. She can't remember things in class. Her research is in shambles. She drives her car to the next town over for no particular reason and has to be brought home by the police. She is devastated. Yeah, I would be too. And that's 1987, so that's 5 years later after the prognosis. So this goes fast. Jesus. She's sent home on a permanent medical leave. Oh. Someday you get the Julia who calls you a dope and your new unborn children little idiots, and other days you get a stranger. Well, I'm actually seeing a part of that now. We have dementia in the family, or my extended family at least, and meeting him on good days could be very joyful, and we could talk for hours about good things and memories and things of the past. But some days he's so far back in the past that we actually don't remember anything of it, because he's back to his childhood home, and that's great for him, I guess. It's good that it hasn't changed his personality. It's just brought him to a younger age, and I think if it were more abrupt than that, he would be more depressed than he is now. She pulls you into bed to make love. After 5 minutes she goes into a panic, believing her dad is at the door. So she has the same withdrawal to an earlier age. So I guess that's something that is common by this disease. I don't know too much about the disease, even though I had it close to me for a few years. You tell her family they are crushed and begin to make trips to and from their home in Australia to visit her. For a while your friends come by with little things to brighten the day. She gets worse. Yeah, it's too much stimuli when you have this kind of disease can actually make you retract into yourself. So not changing the day-to-day routine is very good to keep the disease in check. So yeah, I think these are counterproductive actions they are taking, sadly. You spend your days, this is the next year, 88. You spend your days following Julia around the house. You count the seconds between the 2 weekly visits from Daniel, the nurse. He suggests that Julia could live somewhere else, somewhere within a 24-hour care, a home. It sits with you for a couple of months. You decide to move her into a full-time care facility. You are determined to take care of her yourself. As I said earlier, making a little change to make things more controlled is often better for the disease, and as taking care of somebody in the home that has this very hard disease to handle 24/7, yeah, I think you have a better relationship if you actually move her to a home, because I think she have gone too far into the sickness, and I think your experience with her at the full-time care will be more fulfilling and hopefully longer than if you try to handle it by yourself. It's very tempting to try to solve this kind of things by yourself, but if you're not a trained professional, I think you are destined to fail. So let's put her into a full care facility.